UFC Vegas 104 props and parlay edition. I see you guys are liking this content. I see the likes going up on these videos. I see the view count going up and up. You guys know if you hang around with me to the end of this video, I'm going to give you that long shot parlay coming your guys' way. Let's see if we can cash on that once again. I'm going to give you guys at least 3 prop targets for the UFC Vegas 104 fight card headlined by Marvin Vettori and Dolidze. I appreciate your guys' support. If you can, smash that like button. If you guys like this video, smash the like button so I know and I keep these types of videos coming your guys' way. If you're new to the channel, you're definitely going to want to subscribe. And don't forget, guys, if anybody wants the official plays that I'm targeting for this card, you guys can shoot me a DM on IG or Twitter or shoot me an email. Got all that scrolling below. Not going to hold you guys up at all. We're jumping right into the first target.
The teller.
We're stopping right off the rip at the first fight of the card, where we have Yunesi Dubin making her UFC debut against Carly Judice, 2 DWCS alum here. And people are thinking that Dubin is the next coming of Mike Tyson, right? After the knockout that she landed on DWCS, which was one of the biggest upsets that we've ever seen on the show. And in reality, one of the biggest upsets we've ever seen in all MMA. I mean, if you take into consideration the way she ended the fight, I mean, it was cool. She threw the overhand right, knocked her opponent out there, who was the only respectable fighter that she's ever really faced off against in Shannon Clark, and respectable to an extent. But we talked about the fact in our full card breakdown of this event that the level of opposition that she was facing before that fight was about as bad as you'll ever see. Almost every single one of these fighters were making their pro debut. All right. So you take a look at all these knockouts and even a couple subs. I don't put that much merit into it. I really don't. I think that she still is a lower level female fighter. And as she's fighting on the big stage against a step up in competition, you can't really bank on her just going out there and running through these girls. I mean, you cannot bank on that. And when you have a fighter like Carly Judice, who's shown to be very durable, we've seen her go to war and fight high-level fighters already. She does not look for a way out of there. I mean, you think about the DWCS fight where she was just going at it. Okay, I think it's pretty unlikely that Dubin is going to knock her out or even sub her. I think that it's unlikely. Okay, and I don't really feel that Judice is going to get her out of there too. I know we haven't seen Dubin go to the later rounds, so you could have that question mark about her. But Judice, I mean, she has a couple knockouts here and there in the early part of her career. She's still a fighter that's trying to figure things out, man. She was a softball player not too long ago. Her striking is good. I don't think she has that much pop. I think that Dubin will be tough enough to make it to the final bell. So that's where I'm going with this. I mean, this is still a women's flyweight bout that you're able to get at a decent bargain here. I mean, you head over to BetUS and you take a look at what's available. The over 2.5 is at -170 right now. It opened up at -145. That's really where you want it to be. But you could still get the over here, over 2.5 at -170. So if you're looking to make a wager on this, head over to BetUS. This will give me a chance to shout out my partners over there. BetUS will give you a great deposit match, as you guys know. I don't think anyone's competing with them when you're talking about the deposit matches they're giving you. So if your guys are looking to sign up, go check them out. Let me know if you do. I'll give you an additional gift. And if you go lock that up, I mean, I think that you'll put some money in your pocket. And if you want a little bit of a better line, I think what you want to do is go the route of taking the fight to go the distance, which you should be able to get right around a -150. If it makes it to the 2.5 round marker, I feel pretty confident it'll make it to that final bell. So that's probably the route you would want to go there. And I think -150 is not a bad line. I think you're getting decent value on that. So that should be a target that you want to take into consideration. Josias Musasa is taking on Carlos Vera. Musasa is making his UFC debut here. There's a lot of hype behind him. I mean, if you guys have been paying attention to the line movement, we've seen a lot of action come in on him. I think he's right around a -900 now. All right. So, I mean, a crazy amount of action has came in since we did our full card prediction video. If you're back in Musasa, I think you have to have a good amount of faith that he can get a knockout, because even though we've never seen Vera KO'd, Musasa, he is very good at getting those KOs. I know he didn't get the knockout on DWCS. He did land some very powerful strikes, but he wasn't able to get Tanzalov out of there. But I feel that the KOs will come over time. You'll see him stringing off KOs in the UFC. He has a massive size advantage here. And I'll tell you what, if Vera is able to avoid getting KO'd and he's able to have success in this fight, I don't think it's even out of the realm that Vera can get a finish in this fight. Because if he's having enough success to not be KO'd on the feet, if he's able to get this fight down to the mat, he may show to be on a completely different level with his BJJ. I mean, that's really his strength. And we've seen him pull off a lot of subs throughout his career. So that's kind of like the X factor there. Although I want to be clear, I'm very much favoring the fact that Mousasi gets a KO in this fight. I really think it's time Vera, at 37 years old, he hasn't been that active. I think it's the time that he gets his first KO loss. It's very hard to be a pro fighter and just never get finished via strikes, especially when you're not really a high-level fighter. Okay, because Vera's not a high-level fighter, and good luck to getting through the powerful strikes of Mousasi. But when we mix it all together, I would just be very surprised if this fight made it to the final bell. All right, so if you want to play it a little bit more safely, you could take this target, and I think it's a solid one. You can catch it right around a -215, just over a -200. This fight to not go the distance is a play that I like. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. I see that knockout coming. If you want to get a little bit more bang for your buck, target the under 1.5. Say this fight does not make the halfway mark. There's going to be heavy action taking place in the first round. Somebody's going to implement their stylistic tactic, whether it's Vera jumping on the back or it's just most likely him getting KO'd. You can catch that right around +135. And I think that this is a fight that I would be very surprised. My gut is telling me I'd be very surprised to see this fight make it to the final bell. That bumps us up to the main event where we have the rematch between Marvin Vettori and Roman Dolidze. Remember that last fight, it made it to the final bell. It was just a 3-round fight. It was a 15-minute fight. This is a 25-minute fight. But I mean, take a look at these fighters. Neither of them have ever been finished. Okay, both of these guys have granite chins. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. These guys are very durable. I don't see a finish taking place in this fight. I think that this is a match that's going to be back and forth. There may be some solid action taking place, but I don't see either fighter wilting. I really don't. Even if Vettori gets hit with the big power punches of Dolidze, which would be the biggest threat for us to see something happen where we see a finish with Dolidze getting the KO. Vettori just has an absolute boulder of a cranium. I think he weathers the storm. I can see him clinching up, mixing in some grappling, stalling a little bit throughout the 25-minute fight. And as the fight goes on, I think we'll see this fight kind of go into cruise control. And we'll see some back and forth action, but nothing crazy will happen. And I think that this is a fight that you want to take a look into making it to the final bell. I think you're looking at overs, depending on what round you feel comfortable with. You can get the over 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, or to make it to the final bell. You're not going to get a cheap price. I'm kind of doing this video a little bit different than I normally do. I know a lot of times I'm giving you these crazy plus odds, but we'll be doing that in a second with the long shot parlay. I'm kind of giving you guys some safe plays, but plays that I think there's some value where you could put some money in your pocket. And where I feel comfortable with in the main event is taking this fight to go the distance, which you should be able to catch right around a -190 to a -200. I know it's 25 minutes of action taking place, but you want to talk about fighters that will hold up in there for you. You're talking about both of these fighters. And I mean, yeah, Roman Dolidze, he's a fight finisher, but Vettori definitely tends to go towards the decision route. And I have him winning. I have him getting his hand raised, as you guys know, if you caught the full prediction video. I like this fight to make it to that final bell. Before we jump into the long shot parlay, I just wanted to say this real quick. If you guys have been keeping up with me on my IG, we got this new segment that goes down every Sunday or Monday, the Sunday/Monday meme dump. I've been having a lot of fun with it. You guys are missing out if you're not following me over at MMA Fortune Teller. And I am just a dozen or 2 or 3, give or take when you're watching this, followers away from hitting that 10K mark. Okay, that's a big milestone for me on IG. I love my IG. I think that the ball will really start to get rolling as we finally hit that double-digit marker there. So maybe you could be my 10,000th follower. All right, go check me out over there, guys, at MMA Fortune Teller. It's popping up below. Go catch me on Twitter. Appreciate you guys. Let's go get to this long shot parlay. All right, guys, here we go. We got the long shot parlay coming your guys' way. Hit the music. We get this thing amped up a little bit. All right, we're going to kick off this parlay. And take note, we're always going to aim to be right around a +1,000. That's kind of at least for now, as we start the segment off, we're going to always try to aim to be right around a plus 1,000. So if you put $10, you win about 100. Throw $100, you put about a G in your pocket. All right. And we're going to kick things off right off the rip by tossing Marvin Vettori in the mix at minus 148. From there, let's fish around here. Let's throw Waldo Cortez Acosta up in the mix. That will take us to a plus 165. Let's see here. We're going to have to throw some tighter lines here to start juicing this thing up, man. What are we looking at? We got to pick our spots carefully now. We want this to hit. How about DR Nergoze? I know that line's high, but that's a solid piece to add to the mix. I mean, that's a play that I feel quite confident in. We've seen a lot of action coming in on Nergoze. You definitely wanted to grab him early on, and we talked about the fact that I was surprised that line opened up as low as it did, and quickly after we talked about that, we saw a lot of action coming in on him. All right, we're at plus 245 right now. I like Andre Lima a lot, but man, I have a lot of respect for Daniel Perez. I don't know if it's worth throwing him in the mix there at a minus 340. You know what we have to do here? It's not the most advisable target, but we got to throw Jocelyn Nunez in the mix, which her line has been dipping throughout the fight week. All right, so we get her up in the mix here. We're at a plus 436. We got a 4-teamer right now. We got to juice this thing up, boys. And what better way to juice it up than by throwing the big boy Kurt Halaba in the mix? Okay, that's going to take you to a plus 1,374. All right, so we surpassed the plus 1,000 marker. Okay, so let's leave that there for you guys, for those of you that are looking for a big parlay. And then what I'm going to do, stick with me, boys. I'm going to give you another little parlay. So what we're going to do here, that is one route you can go, or we're going to erase Halaba out of the mix here. And if you want to potentially play it a little safer, we're going to throw Zaleski dos Santos. That will make it a 5-teamer. That brings us to a plus 715. And then we're going to throw Kevin Vallejos in the mix, which that line's gotten a little crazy. But you know what? It bumps it up to a plus 864. So we got those two slates going there. All right. You guys check out both those slates. You get the plus 864, or you can go reach for that plus up in the 1300s. All right. Let me know if you're tailing me on either of those parlays coming your guys' way. And hopefully we cash on both of those. And if you tailed and you made some big money on it, reach out to me and let me know. I always love to see those tickets. And I love to see and hear those happy stories there with somebody hitting a big parlay, because the parlays are hard to hit. And you guys know, I always caution you with targeting those big parlays, because long-term, consistently, it's very hard to profit on them. I mean, the books want you doing those parlays, but they are a lot of fun. All right, boys, that's going to wrap this one up. I hope you guys are all having a great week. The best way to keep up with me is on IG at mmafortuneteller. You guys will see a lot more from me throughout the fight week leading up to Saturday. And hopefully Saturday will be another profitable event. You guys know what we just did for UFC 313. It was crazy. If you guys didn't know, we hit the clean sweep. All right, topped it off with the Magomed Ankalaev, a 5-unit play. We had a huge 7-unit 2-team parlay. We had all these huge targets at great odds. I mean, you think about Ignacio Bahamundes, Joshua Van. We had units all over the board. We had 23 units out. We cashed in a major way. So we're looking to piggyback those profits onto this card. If you want to work with me, we can get those official plays coming your way. And we'll leave you guys with that, man. Give me some feedback in the comment section, boys. Give us some plays that you like. You guys know I'm always up in the comment section. So give us some plays down below. Let's engage. Signing out. Teller.
The teller. The teller. The teller. The teller.